big topic that kind of came out of the blue today for James and I was the idea of Class A schools in South Dakota going to a shot clock beginning with this coming season, the 2014-2015 season. And obviously with the number of Class A schools in our area, this is a big topic for us.
Well, yeah, and this has actually been in the works for a while. It had been approved by the Activity Association earlier this school year. There was a push by some of the Class A schools to have it delayed or even scrapped because the shot clock is kind of a divisive issue in South Dakota. Some schools feel it is a natural progression of the sport. College and professionals have had shot clock for years. Others think it takes too much away from the coach. It takes the ability to use a slow down strategy away from the coach.
Right, and I think you and I saw that debate when Class AA went to the shot clock a couple of years ago, obviously with Yankton, and there was that debate of the cost first, and then of course there was this is going to, I think there was this perception this is just going to be a frenetic pace of basketball. You're going to have teams running all over the place, fighting the shot clock, and I don't know about you, but I've maybe seen it just a couple times in some of the Yankton games.
Well, yeah, and if you were actually to put a stopwatch on possessions, most of the time they're under 35 seconds anyway,
right.
So I don't believe you're going to see a lot of shot clock violations next year. You might see some the first couple games of the year just because they're getting used to it, but I think most teams run an offense that really doesn't require more than 35 seconds.
Right. And the reason we're talking about this today was it came out from one of the area schools that there was an amendment put forward. I think was it Canton, I think, proposed this amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, in effect, the amendment would be it would forbid the Activity Association from forcing schools to use a shot clock. And so there's a little bit of confusion here that if you vote yes on the amendment, that doesn't necessarily mean you are for the shot clock. So there's a little bit of discussion we have to have on the amendment where that vote was, because the vote was 89-76 against that challenge.
And that means obviously that shot clocks are going in.
Right.
And you mentioned this off air. The cost of this is, Vermilion said for their two gyms, it's going to run about $10,000. So you're looking, if you have one gym that you're putting them in, it'll be about $5,000.
Right.
Which a lot of schools are fighting money issues, so I can understand why that part would have them hesitant.
Right, and I think we saw that with the AA issue was when basically it's the state saying, okay, you're going to use a shot clock, but it's go and buy it. You know what I mean? Like it's out of, the state isn't paying for this, so that's why I think a lot of schools were a little apprehensive about, well, where's that money going to come from?
Yeah, and Yankton was lucky. They have a great booster club who put in the money for that, and the backboards that light up when the clock hits zero as well, which coincidentally came in handy the actual first game that
literally the first game at that gym.
But no, that it's gonna. A lot of schools are gonna have to ask their boosters to say, hey, we've got this. We weren't counting on it. Can you help us out?
And one school that's near to us, Bon Home, their athletic directors said today when I talked to them that they already had their purchase order in back in March. So they've been kind of expecting this. And so they had no huge issues paying for it. They obviously got it in, got it ordered, it's going to be on the way, and now it's just a matter of A, paying for that, and B, installing it this summer because, of course, you would run into some timing issues. You don't want to have it installed in August because then kids would come back and, open gyms and camps, and there's that concern too, where this is, now that it's finalized, it's June, you have, 2.5 months to really get it in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of places that now offer team camps already have shot clocks in place. So,
True, yeah.
So that like Mount Marty does a great team camp during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Their shot clocks are already in their gyms. So I think it's something that they're gonna have to deal with, and get ready for. And I think in terms of the on the court stuff, I don't think it'll be that big of an adjustment.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, think it's I think maybe that's a fear too, is this is just going to be some huge adjustment that coaches and kids are going to have to deal with, and I think you and I would agree that from what we've seen, it's really not that big of an adjustment.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids, if you gave them a 10-second shot clock, they'd be fine.
Right, right. The biggest issue, the next issue there is, of course, Class B would not have a shot clock, and I don't want to make this too long, but that would be another issue of a lot of our A schools would play B schools, and so there would be that back and forth of.
Well, yeah, I mean, when AA added the shot clock, there's not a lot of cross class between AA and smaller schools. There's a little bit more now than there was even when the shot clock started, but
Right.
there still isn't a ton of it. A and B play each other all the time.
All the time. Bonhomme, I went back and looked at the schedule. Bonhomme, they play a lot of those B schools in the area, because look at where the geography is. There are a lot more B schools in their area right now, and so I personally, I think that's obviously an issue to be concerned about if you're an A school. Well, we have a shot clock, but what if half of our games are not with a shot clock? So, but anyway, so that was the big news today. We'll have a story on that in Tuesday's Press Dakotan at yankton.net, and again, we'll be back next Monday for another Press Dakotan weekly video webcast. Thanks, James.